Do you think Baker is the QB of the future for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
At least next year, like immediate future, he's definitely at least bridge guy. There's not a doubt about it. What he's doing down there this year, I won't use the word special, but it's very impressive. Like to see Baker be able to continuously redeem himself, it's more than anything speaks to his work ethic. I mean, Baker's is a very respectable guy. A very respectable guy at this point. He always was, I feel like.
He's playing for like $4 million this year.
Right. And it's like, I think what we've seen, I have to give a quick shout out to the man, just the man's life over the past, 7-8 years. Like, I think the maturity and growth we've seen from Baker has been very admirable. I do have to give a shout out to that where it's due. You know, we saw a guy go run from the cops in college to and get arrested to turn into much more humble, much more team first. And you've seen that change year to year. It was kind of a slow transition into what he's become now. But I feel like he's become much more of a leader. And this year has shown it most. We thought the Bucs were bare bones. You know, and not that they didn't still have talent. They still have leftovers. I'll say they have like good Super Bowl leftovers.
Leftovers, yeah.
But Super Bowl leftovers don't win you Super Bowls.
No.
But it's like when you're looking at what they have and what they're doing right now, I mean, there's no doubt about it. We're very impressed. And I think that they are overshooting what we thought they were able to do. And I think, again, back to the main thing, it's like you point to what's doing it. Baker's the main reason.
I mean, look at Mike Evans. Look what he's doing with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin now.
And look who Mike Evans was just playing with. And that's not that Tom's inevitably better at spreading it out just because that's Tom. And it was different with the Bruce Arians offense. But when you got Baker doing what Tom was doing with Mike, it's like you got to say to yourself, look, man, bottom line, Baker knows how to treat his number one. And his connection with him, looking like it could become a special connection if they keep this going.
And that's the thing is like, I would much rather play the Seahawks in the playoffs than the Buccaneers because the Buccaneers are so much more volatile.
And the Bucs defense, and that's the thing is where we said the Seahawks defense has been playing really good, but I don't know, strictly like personnel to personnel basis, the Bucs have guys that like they have guys that can really, really game wreck.
Yeah.
Whereas
Diaby.
the Seahawks, you kind of just, yes, we got to give a shout out to Yaya. The numbers this year are nothing insane yet. I think he's one of those guys where he could be elite in the next couple years. Yaya's got that speed off the edge, that finesse. It's just a matter of keep getting that body keep growing more into NFL shape. Yaya Diaby shouts out.
Antoine Winfield as well.
I think he's propelled almost above Jesse Bates now, where like they've both been having, and I haven't been giving him the love he needed. Like I've been shouting Jesse out all year, and I haven't been giving Antoine any love. They've been neck and neck. But Antoine is just locking shit down. Like you don't even throw Antoine's way this year. I
think until the last 2 weeks, everyone was kind of counting out the Bucs to be like this 500 team, and that's what there are. That's what the record shows. But they're getting hot at the right time, where it's like just like the Rams. I don't want to play them.
Not in the slightest.
A team that a lot of teams would probably love to play though is the Jaguars.
Yeah. So this is where it's time to let's have our discussion. Because obviously our worst narrative all year was the Jaguars.
It wasn't bad until they fell apart.
Yeah, well, it was looking good. It was the best narrative ever for the first half of the season. What is wrong with? How about this? I got a good question. Why can't the Jaguars play more than half the season? Because last year it was the second half. This year it's the first half. They can't. What is that? What is that?
It's so hard because it's like they're just so inconsistent in like so many different areas that it's like you can't even pinpoint like a number one problem with the Jags.
The Jaguars are like that meme where the kid is like, "What is that? What is that?" You're like, what is that? Like,
literally,
I literally don't know.
Trevor Lawrence has been abysmal.
That's the problem. So back to the what is that? What is Trevor? Like 1 week you look elite, 1 week you look like a backup. What is that? Like what? Like the whole team. I think the only person who's been somewhat consistent over the last 3 or 4 weeks has been Trayvon Walker. Finally, showing like I feel like he's showing you what you drafted him for, but then out of nowhere, the rest of the team's falling apart.
I mean, like you are seriously at a chance of losing your division. Like in a year where everyone thought that you guys could just literally play average and win.
They could have played below average. That's what they're not. They're playing far below average. Like they're playing like one of the worst teams in the league. And that's where it makes no sense because you go, wait a minute, we got Dougie P, we got T-Law, I got Calvin Ridley, I got ETN, I got a good O-line. I have plenty of young, good defenders that were firing on all cylinders coming into this year. What happened? Why has Tyson Campbell not made the jump? Darius Williams has made more of a jump than Tyson Campbell. I always own my takes. Tyson Campbell's not made the jump that I thought he was going to make it all this year. He's definitely still a solid corner, but some of the guys you thought were really going to make the leaps, not making the leaps. It's just, and then the D line, like Josh Allen, if Josh Allen doesn't have a perfect week, it feels like the Jags don't get enough pressure. And back to the thing, and Trayvon's getting better and better each week. But that's another thing. The Jaguars D line as a whole, the unit just doesn't really create much fear. And so this is kind of like maybe just the all result of what you get. The offense is not producing. Pass rush is just non-existent. It's just,
this is a team that in the playoffs, I would just see them as a one and done. Like they would, to me, be a waste of a playoff spot.
as of right now, they're in that same unmotivated territory as like the Saints. It's just unmotivated. Like it's like watching. I know who do I say too that was fitting into the unmotivated territory? The Bills, on a lot of weeks.
Do you think this has anything to do with Doug Peterson?
That's where it gets weird.
Like I don't know.
I was literally just thinking about this yesterday because I was like, when the Eagles let go of Dougie P, it was like, what the fuck? Like, and it's still, even to an extent, it kind of, but then you see how it worked out with Sirianni. But it's like they did for a reason. All I'm gonna say is like,
it was kind of weird when they let him go.
Are we seeing the reasons?
That's what I was
going
thinking.
on with the Jaguars. I don't like. We're gonna have to pay attention because it's not just this year. It's gonna tell the story. But let's say that they really can't recoup when this is another thing of the same next year. I can't defend you anymore, Dougie. Even though I'd love to. I always give Dougie P the love, but
he's getting into fraudulent territory.
I can't give him love right now because right now he's been a shell of himself, and that Jaguars team's been a shell of themselves.